Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the English Conversation Podcast. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Daniel. We are so happy to have you here today.
Daniel, I have to ask you something. When was the last time you went on a really great holiday?
Oh, wow. That's a mean question, Sarah. It's been too long. I think the last big trip was Italy, about 2 years ago. Why are you asking?
Because today we are tackling one of the most popular, exciting, and absolutely essential topics in English, travel.
Ah, yes, travel. It is probably the number one reason many of our listeners are learning English in the first place. To see the world, to navigate new cities, to order food in foreign restaurants.
Exactly. Travel is amazing, but Daniel, let's be honest, the actual process of traveling, the planning, the airports, the hotels, it can be incredibly stressful.
Oh, absolutely. It's high pressure. You have tight deadlines, you're tired, you're carrying heavy bags, and often you're doing it all in a second language.
And that stress brings us to the main theme of today's episode. But first, I want to teach a great idiom for that feeling of needing a holiday right now.
I think I know the one you mean.
Listeners, if you find yourself constantly looking at maps, browsing flight websites, and dreaming of beaches instead of working, we say that you have been bitten by the travel bug.
It's a great idiom, the travel bug. It's not a real insect that makes you sick.
No, it just means you have a sudden, strong urge or desire to travel.
I think I've got the travel bug right now, just talking about this.
Me too. But okay, let's go back to that stress factor we mentioned. Why is travel English so difficult?
Here is the problem I see all the time with students. When you are relaxed in a classroom, your English is polite. You say please and thank you.
Right, but imagine you are at a busy airport. Your flight is delayed, the airline lost your luggage, you are exhausted. What happens to your English?
Your brain goes into survival mode. You forget the polite grammar and you start translating directly from your native language.
And the result is that you end up using very direct language. You sound like you are giving commands.
Exactly. Instead of saying something polite, a stressed student might rush up to a desk and say, "Give me new ticket now." Or at a hotel, "I want better room."
Oof, yeah. Grammatically, those sentences are understandable, but socially? To a native speaker, that sounds incredibly rude and aggressive.
Exactly. And here is the hard truth. Airport staff and hotel receptionists are human. If you sound rude to them, they are much less likely to go out of their way to help you solve your problem.
So, the goal of today's episode is not just to teach you nouns like luggage and passport.
No. Today is about equipping you with the magic words of English politeness. We want to give you the grammar tools to handle stressful situations calmly and professionally, so you get what you want.
We are going to take you on a chronological journey today.
We'll start here in part 2 with the planning phase on the sofa.
Then we will move to navigating the chaos of the airport.
And finally, we will arrive at the hotel and learn how to check in and complain politely.
It's time to pack your bags. Let's start planning.
Let's start with the planning. There's a big difference between talking about a dream trip and a trip you've actually booked.
That's a great point. And the grammar changes depending on how certain the plan is.
Exactly. If you've booked your flights and hotels, you use the present continuous.
We're going to Japan in October.
But if it's just an idea, something you're thinking about, you use phrases like, we're thinking of going, or we're planning to go.
We're thinking of going to Spain next summer, but we haven't booked anything yet.
Now, once you start planning, you need to talk about your itinerary.
The itinerary is your schedule, the plan for your trip.
And you can have a packed itinerary, which means it's very busy with lots of activities planned every day.
Or you might prefer to play it by ear. That means you don't have a fixed plan, you'll just decide what to do each day as it comes.
I'm definitely a play it by ear kind of traveler.
Me too. Now let's talk about booking flights.
There are a few key vocabulary words here. First, the type of ticket. Do you want a one-way ticket or a round-trip ticket?
A one-way ticket is just for going to your destination. A round-trip ticket includes your flight back home.
Then there's the flight itself. Is it a direct flight or does it have a layover?
A direct flight goes straight to your destination. A layover is a stop at another airport along the way.
And finally, there's the dreaded red-eye flight.
The red-eye, that's an overnight flight that arrives early in the morning.
We call it a red-eye because everyone arrives with red, tired eyes from not sleeping.
Okay, so we have our plans, our itinerary, and our flights. But what about the language we use when we're actually booking these things, or when we're dealing with people at the airport and hotel?
That's where the politeness power-up comes in.
Okay, Daniel, we have planned the trip, we have booked the tickets, now we are actually leaving the house.
This is where reality hits because, as we mentioned in the intro, travel is stressful. You are tired, you're carrying heavy bags, maybe you're running late.
And when our brains are stressed, especially in a second language, something unfortunate happens to our grammar. We forget to be polite.
Exactly. We go into survival mode. We stop using soft language and we start using very direct translation from our mother tongue.
Let's give an example. Imagine you are on the plane. You're incredibly thirsty. The flight attendant walks past. A stressed student might just say, "Give me water."
Oof. Yeah, grammatically, it's fine. It's an imperative sentence. Give me water.
But socially, in English, that sounds like a command. It sounds aggressive. You sound like a grumpy king demanding something from a servant.
Exactly. And here's the secret to travel. The people working in airports and hotels hold all the power. If you sound rude to them, they're not going to go out of their way to help you.
So, part 3 is all about the politeness power-up. We need to upgrade your language from caveman commands to polite requests.
Let's look at level 1 politeness. This is the easiest upgrade. Instead of commands, we use modal verbs.
Specifically, can and could.
Right. Instead of give me water, you say, can I have some water?
That is instantly 100% better. But if you want to be even softer, change can to could. Could I have some water, please?
Could is magical. It just softens everything. Instead of walking up to a desk and saying, I want to check in, which is very direct, try saying, I'd like to check in, please. I'd like instead of I want.
Okay, Daniel, those are great for simple things. But sometimes when traveling, you have a big request or maybe a problem.
Right, like maybe you need to ask someone to move their seat or you need the hotel to change your room. Could I sometimes isn't strong enough.
This is where we need level 2 politeness. These are what I call the magic phrases. They're longer structures used to make big requests sound very gentle.
Let's teach them my absolute favorite one first. It's very British, very polite.
Is it, would you mind?
Yes, would you mind? It is such a useful phrase. But Sarah, there is a massive grammar trap here.
Oh, yes, listeners, pay attention. If you use would you mind, the very next verb must end in ing.
Correct. You cannot say, would you mind open the window?
No, you must say, would you mind opening the window?
Would you mind moving your bag so I can sit down? It's so polite because you are essentially asking, will it bother you to do this thing for me?
Okay, magic phrase number 2. If you are asking for a really big favor that might be difficult for the staff.
I like to use could you possibly.
Oh, that's a good one. Putting possibly in there makes it sound like you know you are asking for a lot.
Right. I know the flight is full, but could you possibly check if there are any aisle seats left?
And finally, the ultimate softener, the most indirect way to ask for something.
The phrase is, I was wondering if.
I love this one. You aren't even really asking a question. You are just making a statement about your thoughts.
Exactly. It puts zero pressure on the other person. I was wondering if it might be possible to get a late checkout tomorrow.
It's so gentle that it's very hard for the hotel staff to say no aggressively to that.
So, those are your tools. Would you mind ing? Could you possibly? And I was wondering if.
It seems like a lot of extra words, but trust us. These words are the oil that makes the machinery of travel run smoothly.
Okay, we have our politeness power-up. Now it's time to enter the chaos.
Okay, deep breaths, everyone. We have left the comfort of our sofa and we have arrived at the airport terminal.
The noise, the crowds, the announcements in 3 different languages, this is where the stress really kicks in.
So, let's walk through the process step by step, focusing on the essential vocabulary you need to survive each stage.
Step 1 is almost always the check-in desk, or sometimes the automated kiosks. Even if you checked in online, you often still need to go there.
Right. You hand them your passport, and they give you the most important piece of paper for the day, your boarding pass.
Do not lose that piece of paper. Now, at the desk, the staff are going to ask you some very specific questions, usually about your bags.
The classic question is, are you checking any bags today?
This is crucial vocabulary. A checked bag is the big, heavy suitcase that goes into the bottom of the plane. You don't see it again until you land.
And the other type is your carry-on or hand luggage. That's the small bag you take onto the plane with you.
They will almost always ask, has this bag been with you the whole time? And do you have any liquids or sharp objects in your carry-on? The answer to that second question should be no. Otherwise, security gets very interesting.
Now, Daniel, the check-in desk is also our first real opportunity to use our politeness power-up phrases from part 3.
That's right. Let's say you really hate sitting in the middle seat. You want to ask for a window seat or an aisle seat.
Remember, do not say, "Give me window seat."
No. Let's use one of our magic phrases. Sarah, how would you ask politely?
I would lean in, smile, and say, "Excuse me, I was wondering if it might be possible to get a window seat, please."
Perfect. I was wondering if it might be possible. It's so gentle. The staff member is much more likely to check their computer for you.
Okay, You have your boarding pass, your bags are checked. Now comes the most stressful part of modern travel, going through security.
Ugh, this is where you have to take off your belt, your shoes, take your laptop out. You put everything into those plastic bins or trays.
My best advice for security? Just do exactly what the officers say, move fast, and don't make jokes.
Definitely no jokes. Once you survive security, you are airside. Now you need to find your departure gate.
Look at the big screens. You are praying to see the words on time.
But sometimes you see delayed, which means you have time for a coffee, and the worst one,
Don't say it.
canceled. That means you are not going anywhere today.
But let's assume the flight goes well. You survive the red-eye flight, you land at your destination. Now we have to do everything in reverse.
If you flew internationally, the first stop is immigration or passport control.
Get your passport ready, take off your sunglasses, and just answer their questions clearly. How long are you staying? Business or pleasure?
Once they stamp your passport, you need to get your checked bags back. You need to find baggage claim.
Sometimes called the baggage carousel because it goes around in circles.
And the final step before freedom is customs.
This is where you walk through either the green channel, nothing to declare, or the red channel if you bought too many expensive souvenirs.
And finally, the sliding doors open and you have officially arrived.
You made it! But the journey isn't over. Now you need a place to sleep. We have survived the airport. We have taken a taxi to the city center. And finally, we arrive at the hotel lobby.
Ah, the lobby. It usually smells nice. There is soft music playing. You just want to get to your room and collapse on the bed.
But first, we have to check in. This is usually a pretty simple process, but you still need the right vocabulary.
You walk up to the reception desk. The standard opening phrase is, "Hello, I'd like to check in, please. I have a reservation," under the name, your last name.
I have a reservation under the name. That's the key phrase.
They will ask for your passport and a credit card for incidentals. Then they hand you the plastic keys.
These are almost never actual metal keys anymore. They are key cards.
While you're at the desk, it's a good time to ask about the hotel's amenities.
Amenities are the extra features the hotel offers.
Things like, is breakfast included? What time does the pool open? Or do you have a gym?
You get your key cards, you take the elevator up, you open the door to your room, and this is where things can sometimes go wrong.
Sarah, this brings us to what I think is one of the hardest things to do in a second language, complaining politely.
Oh, absolutely. You are tired, you are paying a lot of money, and the room isn't right. It is so easy to get angry.
But again, getting angry at the person at the front desk usually doesn't help. You need to be professional.
Let's imagine some common problems. Scenario 1. You walk in and the room has not been cleaned. The bed is messy, there are towels on the floor.
Ugh, disgusting. Okay, do not march down to the desk and shout, "My room is dirty! Clean it now!"
No, we need to use our politeness power-ups from part 3. How would you handle this, Daniel?
I would go back to the desk, look concerned but calm, and say, "Excuse me, I'm really sorry to bother you, but there seems to be a slight problem with my room."
That opening phrase is gold. There seems to be a problem. It's much softer than there is a problem.
Exactly. Then I would say, "It looks like housekeeping hasn't been in yet. Would you mind sending someone up to take care of it while we go get dinner?
Perfect. You stated the problem gently and then used would you mind ing to suggest a solution.
What about scenario 2, a classic hotel problem? You are trying to sleep, and the people in the next room are having a wild party.
Oh, the noisy neighbors. This is tricky. You don't want to confront them yourself.
No, call the front desk. Again, politeness wins.
You could say, hello, this is room 302. I hate to complain, but the room next door is being incredibly loud. I was wondering if you could possibly call them and ask them to keep it down.
I was wondering if you could possibly. That is peak politeness. You're giving the receptionist a clear task, but doing it gently.
And if the noise continues?
Then you have to escalate, but again, politely. I'm really sorry, but the noise hasn't stopped. Since I can't sleep, would it be possible to move to a different room, please?
That is the key. State the problem clearly, say how it affects you, I can't sleep, and propose a solution using a polite grammar structure.
It's not guaranteed to work, but you have a much better chance of getting an upgrade or a quiet room if you treat the staff with respect.
Okay, we have successfully navigated the planning, the airport, and the hotel, including a complaint.
I think our listeners are ready for their next vacation.
Well, Daniel, we made it. We have gone from sitting on the sofa dreaming of a holiday to successfully checking into a hotel on the other side of the world.
It's a long journey, and as we said, it can be stressful. But I hope we have proven that the secret weapon for smoothing out that journey is your grammar.
Absolutely. Before we go, let's do a lightning-fast review of the most important politeness power-ups from today's episode. These are the phrases you need to tattoo on your brain before your next trip.
Okay, let's recap the 3 levels of politeness for making requests.
Level 1. Instead of I want or imperatives like give me, use modal verbs.
Can I have a blanket, please? Or even better, could I have a blanket, please?
Level 2. The British classic. Just remember the grammar rule.
Would you mind followed by an ing verb? Would you mind checking on my flight status?
And level 3, the ultimate gentle softener for big requests or complaints.
I was wondering if, and could you possibly? As in, I was wondering if you could possibly change my room.
Master those phrases and you will find traveling in English so much easier. The staff at airports and hotels will appreciate your politeness, I promise you.
Now, Sarah, after all this talk about travel, I have a severe case of the travel bug again.
Me too. So let's dream a little bit with our question of the day for the comments section.
This is a fun one. We want to know, if money was absolutely no object, if you won the lottery tomorrow, what is the #1 destination on your bucket list and why?
Oh, good question. A bucket list is the list of things you want to do before you kick the bucket or die.
Exactly. Would you rent a luxury villa in the Maldives? Would you go on an Antarctic expedition? Would you take a first-class train trip across Europe?
Tell us your dream trip in the comments below. We love reading them and getting inspired.
And as always, if you found this episode helpful for your real-world English, please give it a thumbs up and make sure you're subscribed to the English Conversation podcast.
We release new episodes every single week to help you speak with more confidence. Thanks for traveling with us today, everyone.
Safe travels and see you next time. Bye.